Hey everybody, it's Brad with the Big Family Homestead. Today we are talking about the power station, the OUPES Mega 3 power station with optional solar panels. Now I am going to tell you what I honestly think, having tested it, used it, but I'm not gonna just candy coat everything. I'm going to tell you what I like, but what I also don't like. I'm not going to fanboy out. But we're gonna get to all the nitty gritty of what this is, what it does, what it won't do for you, how to be reasonable in terms of what your expectations are so that you actually make a good purchase to make sure that this is the right one or not for you. So the Mega 3, spoiler alert, I like it, but let's get into the nitty gritty. Here we go. All right, for those of you guys out there who love boxing videos, and I don't mean like boxing, I mean unboxing. I should have said unboxing. Unboxing videos. Here we go. I'm going to do it super fast. Okay, so here it is. I actually expected a lot more stuff to the box. But there really wasn't. This is pretty much it. You got this manual here, which, oh boy, I'm hoping that there's a lot of information in this manual. We're going to talk about it because sometimes these things that come from overseas, they don't have the world's greatest manuals. Matter of fact, sometimes it's the funniest reading you've ever seen. Let's see. We'll look through that, or I'll look through that. I'll give you the 411. But for a unit like this, hopefully there's enough info. But that was in here. And this was in here, cables, and the unit itself. That's it. That is it. So what do we got here? Looks like we got regular old IEC. Nope, this is not a regular IEC power cord. If you take a look, this is actually not got the beveled edges here. So this is a specialized power cord, and it is not the regular old IEC. You don't want to lose this because this, I'm assuming, yep, is going to be what charges the device when you're on power from your house. But yeah, this is not the average, go buy a computer power supply thing. Looks like we got another charging cable here and some stuff for, looks like mobile and to click up the solar panels. But that's really all that was in the box. I'm gonna go ahead and get the unit charged up, fired up. We're going to talk about it, and ultimately, I'm not going to do too much of the scientific-y specs because there's a lot of videos that are out there do that. I really like to talk about what I honestly and truthfully think about the unit, what I know it can do, what I know it can't do. We talk about the pluses and minuses because ultimately, you, the buyer, are going to decide whether it's a good value for you or not, because some people have more money than others, and it's just that way. So somebody who may not have a lot of money might think, wow, geez, that's a horrible value, where other people go, whoa, what the best deal ever. So I'll just present you the info and you guys do with it as you want, but let me go ahead and get this thing fired up and we're going to test it out. All right, so a quick front panel tour. We've got our power button right here, and let's go ahead and hold that sucker on, get it going. And this guy right here is for your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth connectivity. But over here, we've got a DC output. This is an Anderson DC kind of output. And you've got your USB-Cs, your USBs, standard stuff. You've got your DC output here as well. And also down here, you've got your AC outputs. And then this big guy right here for folks who RV and have bigger units that have, higher AC requirements. This is a huge benefit. Now, also notice here, this is a big deal. You can run sensitive electronics with these outputs, because otherwise, if you got non-sine wave outputs, you can really mess your electronics up. Here's another thing that's really nice, guys. Watch this. You can turn things on and off by their own bank. That is super slick. That way, if you're not needing this bank, just turn it off, and it will give you monitoring of every little well, everything got plugged in there. Okay, so back here, check this out. This is a little thing, but I do like this detail. What we have here is a dust plate cover. Well, it could cover dust splashes, whatever. But this is where your charging inputs are. And oops, oh, it comes out like that. I thought I broke it. No, it's actually designed that way. So it pops out like that. Yeah, oops. But there's, you got an AC in, the Anderson ins. This is also for solar. But then you got down here individual circuit breakers for your AC and DC. Oops, sorry about that. That's really nice. And then you got down here, there's a big boy down here. This is actually a fuel pack connector so that you can actually add a bigger battery bank if you wanted more power, more time, yada, yada, yippee, skippy. But I do like that it's all in one spot. And I know it's a silly thing, but these covers, believe it or not, are really nice because there's not a lot of units that actually have that kind of, well, feature. Now, believe it or not, this right here is one of the most awesome features that I am shocked that more companies are not doing. These units are not light. Moving around, even for somebody who's reasonably, able, is not an easy thing. And to have wheels on them, by the way, nice ad with these, I guess they're protected for your, whatever, the plastic. But having the wheels on there is a great ad that you don't think of until you got to move this sucker around. Because again, it's over 80 pounds and it's a lot easier to grab the handle and drag it around on wheels than try to pick it up every time, especially if you're on your own. Okay, so ladies and gents, here is one of the 240 watt optional solar charging panels. These are panels, okay? So this, I gotta be honest, is one of the coolest doggone things. And there's a lot of companies that do these, but to be honest, this one is the best one I've seen. Let's talk about it for just a second. Because what we have here is a super compact, foldable, weather-resistant solar charging panel. It's a photovoltaic panel. They fold out. It's really nice and convenient. The bag itself is super, I don't know. It's got like this kind of clothy, kind of vinyl-y kind of exterior that is not just going to get all banged up and yucked up. And it looks like it's going to really last a long time, even if you got to leave these things sitting on the shelf for a while and you don't use them all the time, and then you go to get them. I think they're going to be in great shape because of the foldable way that they've done this. And they've also built into it a way for it to lean out so that you just pop the dang thing open. It's almost like a camping tent in a way. You just pop it open and the poof that is there. Another nice thing that I think I already showed in video, but if I haven't, I will, is that all of the cabling to connect to the main unit is already built in. So you just basically click your connectors from here to there and you are off to the races. Now, each one of these things, like I said again, is 240 watts. So if you had two of them, and again, they're optional, but if you had two of them, you're talking about a quick charging setup where even if you didn't have the sunniest of days, you're still going to get a lot of power and juice out of these panels with the sun to power up your mothership, your main unit. But got to be honest, I really like these panels. Okay, so let's briefly talk about some of the what it will do kind of scenario specs from the OUPES site. So here what we have is the Mega 3 power station. Now here's this is really cool because it's got 3,600 watts, but it has 3,072 watt hours. Now, what does that mean? Well, the reality, folks, is that different power consumption devices will take different amounts of wattages and amp hours. So your needs will vary. So here's a few ideas of what this thing can do, and then you'll kind of just have to filter it to whatever it is that you plan on using it for. So, site says, if you had a washing machine that was 500 watts, it'd run 5.2 hours. It would do 43 charges of a laptop. It would actually run an electric 1200 watt grill for about 2.2 hours. Now, folks, hair dryers and coffee pots, things like that, they are power hogs. And that I just honestly, if you're in an emergency situation, don't be using your hair dryer. Bad idea. Use like fire for your coffee outside, not inside, but do something outside for coffee if you got to have coffee, because the hair dryer will only run for about 1.1 hours if it's a 1600 watt hair dryer. And also a coffee pot, if it's a 1000 watt coffee pot, it's only going to run 2.6 hours. So not the best use of your power there. But lights and stuff like that, if you're using LED lights, that's going to run so long. These have the LiFePO batteries. So in terms of battery cycles too, this thing will run 3,500 battery cycles, which is a lot longer than the former battery. You had the lead acid, which that's crazy. Nobody did that. Then the marine cycle, then nobody did that. Then we moved on to ion, lithium ion. This stuff is the next greatest thing. Of course, now one day they will be topped, but for now, these are rocking. Okay, one quick thing about the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi connectivity. You can download an app that this thing has. I gotta be honest, not a fan. Now, I know everybody's level of how much technology we want to have in our worlds. Everybody's got a different place. So you got to decide for you. If I really want to know what's going on the device, I'm going to walk over to it and press the button, and I'm going to read the display. I really don't need to be sitting so glued to my phone all the time that I have to download an app and then have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. For me, now it's just me. Honestly, I know everybody's got a different reason. Maybe here's a good reason to have it. Maybe you have it in a cabin away from your house, like a bug out place or just a vacation place or a camping place, and you keep the Mega 3 there. Well, maybe you want to be able to monitor that. I mean, that's completely you. So I honestly did not do much research into the actual app because it does not interest me. But if it does interest you, then you can check it out, and it's obviously a free download, and it does connect directly to the unit, and you can monitor things from there. But beyond that, you'll have to do the research on that one. Okay, folks, so the OUPES Mega 3 portable power station, all-in-one unit. You can power it with AC, you can power it DC, solar panels, yes. Got the charge controller built right in, all the batteries, everything you need. So let's talk opinion. Here's a scoop. I'm going to go ahead and get the elephant in the room out of the way. This is not an all-in-one turnkey device to power your whole home. That's not what it's designed to do. It will power devices, and it will power different devices at different lengths of time. You're going to have to decide what your power needs are, and maybe you need a bigger system. Maybe this works just great. Maybe you're camping. Maybe you're an RVer, and this might work absolutely perfectly for that, especially since you've got the ability to add to your battery bank. That's huge. So you could get this as kind of like the brains or the mothership of your system and just add to it if you don't need to run huge amp draw devices. This might be the total awesome solution for you. And then you can add batteries as your budget allows and as space allows and all that kind of stuff. So, Opinion City. The build quality is great. Even though it is plastic, it's nice, hard plastic. I don't feel like it's cheap or going to break. If anything was going to break on this thing, I would say it would probably be the handle that you can use to carry it around on the wheels. The wheels feel solid, even though they're plastic. But the handle that you can pull it around to, well, basically make it like luggage, that feels a little bit like, okay, don't do this a lot, but how often are you going to move one of these things anyway? Really? That I do feel like it's, for what it is, it's pretty good. I wouldn't expect it to be more sturdy unless you went to a metal enclosure, and then you're going to add a lot of weight, which this thing's already just a shy bit over 83 pounds. So you may think that one side of you goes, well, that's positive, and the other side goes, well, that's a negative. That's kind of up to you. So, but I feel like the build quality is good enough where you can tote it around a bunch and it's not going to come apart on you. It's not flimsy, but it's also not like military grade, you know, you could drop it from an airplane kind of thing and it's going to be okay. I don't think it'll do that, but I think that for normal, everyday, move it around here, drag it out there, that sort of thing, I think it's going to be more than fine. Now, when you're charging solar, I would honestly say I would not leave this outside in any way. I would make sure that it's not in the sun in any way, because you know what sun will do to plastic over time. It's gonna crack it. It's gonna be a problem. So if you're charging it with solar, keep it to where that your cable runs out of someplace that's more controlled, covered. Stay out of the rain, that sort of thing, because it will definitely mess up at that point. Now, it runs a long time, a lot of devices. Love the LifePo batteries, way to go. And battery technology is coming a long way really fast, guys. So in all honesty, I'm super excited for where this is. Love the fact, again, that you can add to it and build a system as you go. Now, for people that have, say, like a CPAP machine or some kind of life-saving need to keep medicines cold, you need to have some kind of backup, folks. And whether it's this one or another one or something, consider what it would be like if you couldn't get power for a week or two, or unfortunately more. Well, if you had something that would power the devices you need to use, and you didn't need to charge it with the regular grid, or that this could, you know, be a power solution that's solar powered, I would seriously be considering something like that, especially if it's a life-saving device. Now, do I think that this device is one that I would trust like that? I got to be honest and say, yeah, I do. We've had probably about 10 different devices like this, and I have built my own systems. I think I'm coming up on the 4th system that I've built that have been bigger ones outside with the big battery banks and all that. And you learn a lot every time you go to do one of these things or use one of these things, or there's a power outage. And I would honestly say that out of all the all-in-one systems that we have personally used, this one is up there. It's in the top 2 or 3 out of the many, many systems we've used. Love it. This one's going to actually replace the one that we had in our living room for our own personal power outage situations. I think it's great. We're going to move that one downstairs, the other one that was there, and use this one for us. Now, let's talk about price. Price is relative, folks. People that make a lot of money may think, wow, that's the best deal ever. And folks that don't have a lot of money might look at that and go, whoa, geez. That's up to you. That is 100% up to you. For me personally, if I was thinking I need to have something for medicines and medical backup kind of situations, how can you put a price on that? Honestly, you need to have what you just need to have. Now, do I think this one's a good value for apples to apples with other products? I really do. But you be the decider of that. Check out this product in the links below. And I gotta be honest, I'm impressed. But you know, you guys do you, but I really do like the unit. I think it's great. I think it's a value. I really do. But that said, you check it out. for yourself. And there you have it. I am Brad with the Big Family Homestead, and I hope you have an awesome and blessed day, folks.